Greetings respected viewers, this is George from Ireland. Here I am in Park Pobedy, as in Victory Park in Moscow. And there you can see that enormous victory column, almost like a sword. So this park is a memorial to victory in the Second World War, or the Great Fatherland War, as it's known here. The Great Patriotic War, one could translate it more loosely. So it's difficult to overstate the importance in the Russian psyche of the Second World War. It was the bloodiest war in their history, and it was one where they led the world to victory over fascism. So you'll see various references to the years the war began and ended for the Soviet Union, 1941, 1945, because people here often feel they're under threat for their neighbours and so on, and other countries are insufficiently grateful to Russia and other Soviet countries for rescuing them from Nazism. Anyway, so it's quite true to say that this country made sacrifices that Western countries would not have been willing to do. At least 15% of the population of the Soviet Union was killed in that war, whereas Western countries like the UK is about 1%. The United States is less than that, and if Western countries had faced casualty figures as high as Russia or the Soviet Union then was faced, they would rather have thrown in the towel than fight on to victory. So behind me you can see an Orthodox church, and on the other side it's got an image of Jesus Christ and the Blessed Virgin. Elsewhere in the park there's a mosque, there's a synagogue, there's even a little Buddhist temple. Yeah, the Kalmuk people from near Astrakhan, they're Buddhists in the Russian Far East along the border with China, in the Amur Valley. This park is parallel to Kutuzovsky Prospect, and that alludes to General Kutuzov, who was one of the architects of victory in the Patriotic War, which is around 1812, when Napoleon and his Grande Armée was repelled. The Battle of Borodino was fought quite a few miles to the west of here. What else ought I point out? Yeah, so there are many monuments I shan't film up close to various fronts, like the sort of the first Ukrainian front and various fleets, the Northern Fleet, the Baltic Fleet, and so forth. And it mentions the commanders of these fronts and fleets. So that's that. It's a splendid spring evening, and there are places to eat and drink, people walking around. There are other monuments like to the Spanish volunteers. It was shortly after the Spanish Civil War, and some Spanish communists had fled here. Dolores Ibarruri among them, La Pasionara, the passionate one, No pasarán, they shall not pass, which was a slogan for some here in the Second World War. So those Spanish communists had run away from the nationalists who had taken over their country. What else? Other internationalist volunteers. I'm not sure which countries those are alluding to. There are a few Polish soldiers here, and de Gaulle sent a token detachment of soldiers. He felt it was crucial that France have soldiers fighting on every front. He recognized that the Soviet Union was going to emerge a mighty power after this war. Therefore it stood to reason that France should curry favor with the Soviet Union, and he flew via Baku to Moscow. He spent at least a night in Baku on the way out and another on the way back, and there's a plaque on the building near the Maiden Tower in Baku where he spent the night. Right. So well worth visiting if you have time in Moscow. I'll switch it off now.